about in response to the question about treatment of civilians, you're using the kind of phrasing, if the Taliban does this, acts in a certain way, it's sort of conditional on their behavior going forward. But doesn't that sort of give an impression that there are already reports, for example, from before they even took Kabul, that massacres of Hazara men that Amnesty recorded last week. There are a lot of those reports already out there. So you're sort of offering them a clean slate in a way by saying, if they behave in such a way going forward, these are the potential carrots and sticks that we have. And in addition to that, everything we're hearing at the moment, or a lot of it, is coming out of Kabul. Given that your diplomatic presence there is basically focused on this evacuation, are you concerned that there could be ongoing rights abuses happening outside of the capital that you're not seeing and not raising concerns about because you're involved in these strategic or negotiations or talks with the Taliban in order to complete this? Are you missing other things that are happening and therefore letting them potentially get away with things that you're also saying are conditional for how you're going to treat this government going forward?
I'll make a couple points. The expectations that the United States and the rest of the world have for the Taliban in terms of how any future government of Afghanistan would govern, would treat its people, would uphold or not the rights of its citizens, would protect the gains made by Afghanistan's women, girls, minorities over the years. That is something that is just important to us in Kabul at this very instance, as it is to what takes place much farther afield in places where the United States is not. So this is not confined to what is happening right now. It is also not confined to what happens going forward. We have been talking about the expectations on the part of the United States and the rest of the world. We've been talking about the commitments that at least the Taliban have purported to make. And again, we will judge them by one criterion and one criterion only, and that's their action. But just because we are talking about responsibility and accountability going forward does not mean that we are turning a blind eye to accountability for past actions. We have a number of our tools at our disposal. The United States does. When we are working in tandem with the rest of the world, with the UN, we have a even greater number of tools. Some of these tools are broad. Some of these tools are narrow and fairly tailored. We will be prepared to apply whatever tool is necessary given what unfolds and given our assessments going forward of what has unfolded.
So what mechanism is there for detecting these potential atrocities that have been happening or are happening now?
Well, look, we have a full suite of sources of information. Some of them we can all see what is taking place on social media, what is captured by reporters on the ground. It is true that there are NGOs that remain active and operational in Afghanistan. They send back reports. They make those reports public. In fact, we've discussed one of those NGO reports even here in recent days. We have other assets at our disposal too that will give us and our allies broad insight into what is happening. So there will not be any impunity. There will not be any effort, any willingness on the part of the United States to turn a blind eye. What we will be willing to do is to act appropriately using the tools that are at our disposal to respond, both going forward and, if appropriate, to hold individuals accountable for past atrocities. Yes, Lalit.